Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the short questions of the Unit 2 concepts of Block 1 of the paper Humanism and Logic of Srinarayana Guru Open University. So, let's get started. First question: what is the concept of ahimsa or non-violence according to Jainism? Jainism comes from a tradition that gave utmost importance to non-violence towards all living creatures. Jains were so stringent in observing non-violence that they clothed to avoid accidentally inhaling small creatures. They even carried a peacock feather to sweep the way and remove tiny creatures like ants from being trampled under their feet. Avoiding dinner after lighting a lamp was also a practice to prevent small flies from falling into the food. These practices show the Jains' dedication to the ideal of non-violence they upheld and preached. Second question: explain the idea of equality expressed in Bashir's short story Oru Manushan. In Oru Manushan, Bashir emphasizes that even in places where kindness is rare or in people leading unworthy lives, humanity can be found. The story asserts that all human beings are inspired by the act of caring for others, irrespective of their social status or actions. The pickpocket who precipitated the protagonist's crisis was stricken by compassion and inspired by care for the person in need, providing that humanity can be found in the most unlikely of people. Third question: what are Srinarayana Guru's views on caste as expressed in Jadi Lakshanam and Jadi Nirnayam? In Jadi Nirnayam, Srinarayana Guru asserts that the caste of man is manhood and that caste differentiation like Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra are not tenable. In Jadi Lakshanam, he emphasizes that all human beings, irrespective of their place and race, fall under a single category or species. He introduces a universal humanism based on the one species theory, rejecting the concept of caste superiority. Fourth question: explain Gandhi's perspective on environment. Gandhi's views on human existence were holistic, seeing humans as being embedded in nature and connected to everything on earth. His philosophy of environmental concerns was expressed in concepts like satyagraha, ahimsa, grama swaraj, and trusteeship. He advocated for adopting a simple living, encouraging small scale oriented production, and practicing the trusteeship principle of making a decent living while considering the concerns of others and nature. Fifth question: what is the principle of biocentric equality in deep ecology? The principle of biocentric equality in deep ecology recognizes that all organisms and beings are equally members of an interrelated whole and therefore have equal intrinsic worth. It focuses on the intrinsic value of all organisms and beings, independent of their instrumental values for human beings. This principle is central to the deep ecology movement's perspective on ecological balance and the role of human beings in the ecosystem. Sixth question: differentiate between deep ecology and shallow ecology movements. The shallow ecology movement strives for mild reforms and gives priority to anthropocentric values, considering nature as having only instrumental value for human beings. In contrast, the deep ecology movement recognizes that ecological balance requires profound changes in our perception of the role of human beings in the ecosystem. It focuses on the intrinsic value of all organisms and beings, advocating for a substantial decrease in human population for the flourishing of non-human life. Seventh question. What is Thoreau's perspective on human nature relationship? Thoreau believed that human beings are inhabitants and part of nature and not separate from it. He criticized the anthropocentric view that considers humans as the center of the universe and relegates nature to the margins. According to Thoreau, the human nature relationship is not consistent as nature can sometimes be benevolent and at other times violent and indifferent to humans. Eighth question. How does Thoreau view the presentation of nature? Thoreau believed that the presentation of nature is great because nature itself is great. His drawings provide a natural and empirical description of birds, trees, fish, woods, etc. And he believed that every creature in nature has a symbolic value. He emphasized the necessity for a personal and fulfilling relationship with nature for clear thinking and appreciating the diversity of non human life. Ninth question. What is Gandhian view poverty and its realization to violence? According to Gandhi, poverty of people is the result of violence by the greedy. He advocated for adopting a simple and plain living which helps in reducing desire and promoting self reliance, thereby protecting nature and resources for everyone. His philosophy of humanism and environmental concerns was based on the principle of non-violence or ahimsa. 10th question. Explain the concept of self-realization in deep ecology. Self-realization in deep ecology is a process through which people come to understand themselves as existing in a thorough interconnectedness with the rest of nature. Egotistical focus on the individual, but an understanding of the self as an all inclusive self, including all lives, human, animal, and vegetable. The ultimate good in deep ecology is self realization, where all of nature strives to realize itself and live in harmony with its parts. These are some of the important short questions of the second chapter concepts. On the next video, we are going to discuss the paragraph questions of the same chapter. Thanks for watching.